But Donald Trump will return to the White House on January the 20th next year when he's inaugurated for the second time. As you just heard, only the second president ever to end up with two non-consecutive terms. Let's go back to Washington, D.C., the heart of the beast, where Kristen Tate and Paul Murray have been all over it for us. Kristen, what are you getting from your political mates around the country? Is everybody pulling an all-nighter in the States, or are they staying up to watch this? Or it's obviously quite a bit earlier in the West. What's going on?
Of course, everybody's staying awake. This has been the biggest moment. Everybody's been waiting for this for years. I've gotten phone calls from my liberal friends crying in tears. They just can't believe it. And then I've gotten phone calls from my conservative friends who are just jumping up and down, so excited. I think people kind of sensed he might win over the last week. We saw the momentum was with him in some of the polls, but just the decisiveness of this win is shocking to everybody. So I think most of America is up watching the news right now. Mixed emotions for sure. D.C. is weirdly quiet tonight. Hopefully we don't see any social unrest here.
Well, we'll just see the sunrise from here. It's going to be fantastic. A brand new day in America.
I did that 4 years ago. Yeah, it'll be a new America dawning with Donald Trump. Now, Kristen, I just want to ask you about that social unrest, because, again, the media spins this all the other way because of January the 6th, which was shocking and inexcusable. But they're suggesting really that if Trump loses, there would be a civil unrest. That's not the historic record. The history shows us that when Trump wins, it's Democrat supporters who engage in violence and riots. We saw that in 2016. So there'll be concerns in places like Washington, D.C., in New York City, perhaps in Portland, Oregon, and these sorts of places, that we might see the left arc up in coming hours and days.
Yes, I pray that everything is calm. Of course, we saw the left create a lot of destruction during the BLM riots. We saw entire cities burned down. So, you know, my hope is that America is just exhausted with the tension at this point, and we can accept these results and move forward as a country. We'll see what Trump says in his speech. This is a really big moment for him. Hopefully he will make it clear that he is going to work for all Americans, even the ones that didn't vote for him. He's pretty good at that. He's the kind of guy who I think really wants the best for this country. So I'm hoping everything stays calm. As I said, right now, D.C. is very quiet. So
great to talk to you again tonight, Kristen. You've been fantastic on US politics for us over the past couple of years, and your coverage tonight has been fantastic. Paul Murray, great to catch up with you again, mate. You've been just smashing it over there, and you'll be back at 9 o'clock and throughout the night, of course. Just before we finish up this hour, though, I want to cross back down to Florida and get a sense of the looming arrival of soon-to-be president again, Donald Trump, from Pete Stefanovic. What's the move there? Any movement at the station, mate?
Still pretty festive. I mean, you've got those thousands of Trump supporters who are just behind me now and waiting for him to come out, really. I mean, most of them have got a beer in their hand or a wine in their hand, and they have been drinking for some time. But, yeah, the main event now is waiting for the champion of the evening, their champion, the 47th president of the United States, Donald Trump. Now, you know what's interesting, Chris, is, and this may well be a warning for Anthony Albanese, I think, and it was for Stephen Miles unsuccessfully at the last Queensland election, Donald Trump on the campaign trail kept asking that question, are you better off now than when you were 4 years ago?
That's the question.
And for the most people I was talking to while I was on the campaign trail, people said no. People say, I've got less money in my wallet, in my purse than I did 4 years ago. And that's what led them to vote.
That's it. That's it in a nutshell. Thanks, Pete. Appreciate it. Pete Stefanovic, they're live from Florida. He'll stay there. We will stay with it. We will cross here on Sky News live to Florida when Donald Trump fronts that gathering, claims victory, and is embraced by that crowd. Donald Trump has won his way back to the White House. They demonised him. They threw civil lawsuits at him, criminal charges at him. They tried to jail him. He survived an assassin's bullet, a would-be assassin's bullet, but now he's going back to the White House.